I know what you're gonna say. Hey Jay, where's all the nice look? Why are you looking like a normal dude who just sits on his couch and plays game all the time? That's because that's what I actually do, but no, really. There's no good games this week. There's no point in dressing up. That's the new rule. If you're not gonna put a good game on the Switch eShop, I'm not dressing up. It's just, you know, that's how it's gonna be. We need some standards around here, and I'm putting in some standards. All right? You ready to go through these? We got about 30 games this week. Let's do it. Well, this looks a little familiar, almost like another game I covered, but someone gave it a fresh coat of Greek mythology. So in 12 Labors of Hercules, you play as Hercules to fix roads, find artifacts, and fight beasts. Honestly, it doesn't look all that bad. Whenever I see cards, I start shaking involuntarily. In fear, it's another solitaire game. Luckily, in this case, it looks like it's some card game I'm unfamiliar with called President. Apparently, it's based on a Japanese game called Daifugo. I don't know. Well, here's a little cute looking puzzle game. It's called Inventioneers and encourages couch co-op play to solve things. You solve puzzles by building contraptions, it seems. Yay, more racing games. I really dislike racing games. It's cool if you like it, but it always feels about as satisfying as a dog chasing its own tail. And we know in that scenario, it's far more satisfying for the owner watching the dog spin in circles than it actually is for the dog trying so hard to get that furry waggling beast on its behind. But hey, I talk about shitty games as a hobby, so to each their own. Alright, back to this game, it's Xenon Racer. Oh ho ho, so here we have the Princess Guide, or what I like to call the Ultimate Senpai Experience. Okay, well maybe not ultimate. So you pick one of 4 princesses and have to become their senpai, I mean teacher. And then you teach them things. Not about you though, about the world. You must train them to become leaders. So if you've ever had that kind of fantasy, well, here you go. Go go Power Rangers! Doop 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 doop, go go Power Rangers! You mighty morphin Power Rangers. Although it's actually Power Rangers Battle for the Grid and I only recognize like 2 Power Rangers. Seriously, what happened to this series? We got like an evil White Ranger that merged with elements of a Green Ranger, and for some reason the yellow Pirate Ranger is relevant now. Oi, well, it's a Power Rangers fighting game, so that's cool. Oh my god, zombies! I won't lie, these zombie games all start looking the same after a while. So it seems the unique element here is you can create chain reactions of exploding zombies. So like if you exploded on me, then I would explode, and if viewer number 13 was next to me, then they'd explode. It would be a pretty messy situation, you know? Oh, I bet you my editor is having a fun time fitting this title into the lower thirds. Nelke and the Legendary Alchemist's Atelier of the New World. So if you've played an Atelier game, I guess you know what to expect. For the rest of us though, the best I can describe it is as a slice of life town management simulation RPG. Clears it right up, doesn't it? Gems of War is a match 3 type of game, and we can't really hate on this one, team, because it's free. And there's some pretty artwork, so I like it. Well, here's a game with personality. You might not see it because we cut the sound, but there's some fun screaming in this trailer. Inspired by 80s anime and space shooter, Galaxy the Void is all about shooting stuff in space. It's usually a good time to shoot things in space. I am in shock that Final Fantasy VII is far cheaper than Final Fantasy IX. Like, how? If you know nothing about Cloud, Shinra, Sephiroth, or any of that business, do yourself a favor and rise your gaming culture awareness, you pleb. It's seriously a great RPG. That is all. Air conflicts, secret wars. That's what this game is called, and it's about a conflict in the air, but you can't tell anyone because it's a secret war. Yes, it's kind of like a flight simulator that takes place in both world wars and has 49 missions across Europe and North America. Alright, so if you can't keep a secret, not to worry, because there's a not so secret war variant called Air Conflicts Pacific Carrier. Well, here's a pretty game. It's called Windscape, and it's like some adventure game in first person. Here's a secret. I hate first person view games, usually. Alright, now we got neon caves, and what do we have here? We got some neon lights, check, and we've got a cave, check. Looks like it's a pretty basic arcade shooter. I'd play it at a party. Airfield Mania. It's a line drawing game, whatever that means. Hey look, it's a baby Monster Hunter game. Or maybe a baby Warcraft game? Definitely looks more Warcraft-esque. It's called War Party, and it's a real-time strategy game. Wow. Don't see too many of these released these days. Ah, it's a minigame compilation. Wonderful. More zombies. So I know I said earlier all zombie games look the same, but this one definitely looks different. I don't know what's going on, but these people really are loving this elevator. And I guess you control it? I can just hear the pitch now. So imagine a zombie game. Alright. And usually you're either the zombies or the victims, right? Yeah. Well, now imagine if you could be the elevator. What? This has a bit of a Pilot Wings vibe to it, but with guns. Looks pretty well done, honestly. Well, this is different, so it combines tile puzzle elements into an action segment. Can't imagine that flowing very well together, though. So what if Elsa from Frozen just went to town on random monsters? Then you'd get Snow Battle Princess Sayuki. Maybe this is the Japanese version of Frozen, I don't know. So I always get to see the name of the game before the game itself, and with a name like She Remembered Caterpillars, I can't say I was exactly looking forward to covering this one, but I was very curious. It's a pretty freaky looking puzzle game that involves colors and stuff. And caterpillars. Alright, usually we have an arcade archive. Well, now we also have Sega Ages, which are old Sega arcade games. This week they released Game Ground, which looks like an arcade fighter / shooter kind of game. Here's another Sega Ages. This time, Alex Kidd in Miracle World. So this kid apparently travels to many worlds, so expect to see his face a lot more on this show. I sigh because it looks like a mediocre platformer. But hey, apparently the reviews for this are pretty great, so what do I know about retro platformers? Here's LYRICA, a rhythm game based around ancient and modern Chinese music. Alright, so this is a merchant game that's like playing the stock market minus any of the actual risk. And you're in Istanbul, because why not? Ever been to Istanbul? Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Old Constantinople still has Turkish delight on a moonlit night. It's a bland looking action RPG. Speaking of action RPGs, here's another, but more cartoony. If you've ever played the classic Gods, well, it's now been remastered with improved controls and save points. It's a 2D action adventure game, and honestly, I've never heard of it until now. Another animal game, because that's what we needed more of. I guess animal lovers need waifus. Whoops. I guess animal lovers need more animal games. Unless they're busy playing with actual animals, you know? I figure that's what they'd be doing. Alright, we're almost through this week, bear with me. Here we go, a hack and slash game with waifus. I feel I say that on a weekly basis. It's all just starting to blur together. Next up, we have Cell Damage HD, which is exactly what's happening to my brain cells right now. What is even happening here? Oh, it's a vehicle combat game, I see. Well, that's easier to understand now. Here's our arcade archive for the week, which means we're really close to the end now. And it's another shoot 'em up called Armed F. This looks a lot like a Mega Man game, but with a ladybot instead. Okay, so there's 8 stages, evil doctors and stuff. This is totally Miss Mega Man. Ugh, that was a rough week. I got spoiled last week and was hopeful we were setting a new trend, but nope. We're right back into the deep end of that shitstorm. Maybe one day. Until then, keep it classy.